Today on the show, I've got a Donny Schatz take for you. We'll talk Sunday action, more on Brady Bacon, Trey Starks and Justin Sanders at odds, and much more. Let's go. It's Monday, June 17th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. If you currently own or operate any Kubota equipment or plan to in the future, make sure to download the myKubota app. It's the essential tool for managing your equipment efficiently and effectively. With its real-time monitoring, maintenance reminders, and diagnostic alerts, myKubota empowers you to manage your equipment with ease. After you download the app, add your equipment, add your attachments to the app, and you can easily find reference and usage guides and owner's manuals. It's also easy to search out additional attachments and implements that are available for your machine. You can also easily find and contact your nearest Kubota dealer if you need parts or service as well. Never miss a beat with myKubota because your success is Kubota's priority. You can find the myKubota app in the Apple App and Google Play stores. You can click the links below in the video description on YouTube, or you can scan the QR code on your screen now. I'm going to kick today's show off with something to think about with the World of Outlaws. In terms of sprint car championships, the only real possible drama this season on that front will be with the Outlaws. On the high limit side, Brad Sweet will continue to do Brad Sweet things. He's the most prolific points racer of this generation, and it would take a historic effort from Tyler Courtney to even make this thing close by the end. I think Sunshine is an incredible racer. He's one of the top guys in the sport right now, but he's not on Sweet's level, at least in terms of points racing just yet. And the rest of the high limit field continues to lose ground there. On the Outlaw side, though, we've seen things be much tighter. Before Knoxville, it was 5 guys really close within triple digits. But as we talked about yesterday, some contenders struggled there, and it's opened back up. We're likely down to 4 headed into the summer between David Gravel, Donny Schatz, Carson Macedo, and Gio Scelzi. Here lately, it felt like the top contender to Gravel was Macedo, but those 2 nights at Knoxville were an absolute gut punch, and it was surprising to see that team specifically go there and struggle. They went nowhere come feature time, and clearly they have work to do before the Nationals. What was just 10 points is now 76. This is yet another hole for that 41 to climb out of. I'm curious, though, about Donny Schatz. They also lost a bit of ground to Gravel, but not nearly as much, and Schatz battled his ass off, especially on Friday. Going from a non-qualifier to 10th on a night like that could be a signature moment for that team this season. Donny hasn't lit the world on fire this year with double-digit wins, but his consistency is really back in a real way. An average finish we haven't seen this low since 2019. He's in the 5s and 26 top 10s in 29 races. His only 3 finishes outside the top 10 were all 11th place runs. They just haven't had bad nights. I'm wondering now if maybe Schatz isn't the guy to watch here as Gravel's closest challenger. This level of consistency could keep him in striking distance of Gravel all season long. The 2 car is going to win races. There's nothing you can do about that, but they're also going to have some missteps like we've already seen this year. And that will keep the TSR 15 in this thing. My 2 concerns, though, for Schatz are this weekend at Huset's and the fall California swing. Gravel is going to be set on tilt at Huset's for obvious reasons, and Donny hasn't been good there the past 2 years. Also, California has not been kind to Schatz in recent seasons. If Donny can leave Huset's with more top 10s and do the same out west, we could have a real fight on our hands here come World Finals. I still think Gravel's the guy to beat, but Schatz is very quietly hanging around here, and I think a guy with 10 championships lurking in the background is very dangerous. In Sunday racing action, we had the end of 3 different speed weeks, including Eastern Storm with USAC, NARC's run to Dirt Cup, and the late model at Mountain Speed Week. At Action Track USA, as expected, we got a really fun race with Logan Seavey just nipping Briggs Danner at the line for the victory. Win number 7 on the season for Seavey, and he leaves Eastern Storm with a slight 21-point advantage over CJ Leary in the standings. Brady Bacon entered the night with the Eastern Storm points lead. He needed to finish 5th or better to bag the Speed Week title, but he was out early with engine issues. He had contact in that in the early part of that race with Kyle Cummins, but that was not what put him out of the event. Those issues for Bacon allowed Mitchell Moles to snag the week-long championship with a 3rd-place finish. Moles hasn't won a national event in almost a year, but was consistent through Eastern Storm, picking up 2 seconds and 2 fifths. There won't be any rest for these USAC teams, though, as they are right back to racing this coming Saturday. Weekend stops at Wilmot and Angel Park are on tap. And back to Brady Bacon here for just a second. I know a lot of you have had fun with my hot take from a few weeks ago where I said he should go full-time winged racing after some of his early season struggles. In the time since, he's really come to life, winning 3 times, dragging his team right back into this championship battle with USAC. He did have stumbles last night and at Big Diamond, but he's very much back in this. What's interesting, though, is I don't know that my opinion and my take has really changed. His average per race win amounts between the two sides are almost identical for the season. $2,308 a race with a wing on and $2,346 with the wing off. And to get to that number with the wing off, he's had to win 3 times and finish top 10 in 65% of races. On the wing side, it's 1 win in 12 starts and just 3 top 10s. Even with the recent resurgence, I still think there is a very strong case for Bacon to make the switch. At Babs Motor Speedway, Gregg Satterlee closed out the Appalachian Mountain Speed Week with a victory plus the Speed Week title. For the week, he won 3 times and never finished worse than 7th in 7 races. Dylan Yoder and Matt Cosner rounded out the top 3 in the standings, with Kyle Hardy and Yoder on the podium last night. Some solid action through the events, and I definitely liked the color-coded tires. Hopefully they bring that back next year. Out west at Grays Harbor, Dominic Scelzi closed out the NARC fastest 5 days in motorsports with the win. He had a challenge here or there from Justin Sanders, but was pretty much in control throughout. Sanders and Trey Starks rounded out the podium finisher. Those two had some beef late in that feature, including some theatrics on track after the race and then some jawing on the front stretch afterwards. It's always interesting to me in these situations is you've got all 3 podium finishing teams rolled up to the front stretch, and why these things don't happen more often, I don't know. But Scelzi is getting interviewed while Starks and Sanders are yelling at each other on the front stretch. Really great theater there. Neither driver really addressed it, though, in their interviews, and I was a bit surprised that Jim Allen didn't ask them about it. It's a perfect opportunity to get in the middle of that. I didn't see anything super egregious there late from either guy, but it's possible we didn't see something that happened when the flow cameras were away from that battle. Could be a subplot to keep an eye on this coming week at Skagit, as Sanders is the defending winner at that event, and Starks is a heavy local favorite there. Cole Macedo ended up taking the Speed Week points title, which ended up being really close between him and Sanders. That show-up points show that they had for Southern Oregon after the fire there definitely played a role, but there were mitigating circumstances. The NARC-sanctioned Dirt Cup at Skagit starts on Thursday. Summer Nationals action at Sycamore was rained out and postponed to Monday, July 8th. That makes Tyler Erb the Week 1 champion as expected. An interesting decision there with the reschedule, as that puts Sycamore directly up against the Flow Series race at Lincoln Speedway. That Lincoln show was also rescheduled from earlier because of a rainout. Those 2 tracks, not that far apart. I think, though, those national level teams were not going to run the Hell Tour races anyway, but there will definitely be some teams with a decision to make that night. We'll see if it affects car counts and crowds for the 2 shows. The Summer Nationals continue tomorrow at Davenport for Week 2. At Ultimate Motorsports Park, Hudson O'Neal drove Kevin Rumley's car to the $15,000 win, topping Dalton Wilson and Ross Bales. Only 19 super late models in attendance, but some quality there with O'Neal and Wilson, Jonathan Davenport, Nick Hoffman, Brandon Overton, Garrett Alberson, Jimmy Owens, Brandon Shepard, all of those guys there racing. The national touring teams will split this coming week, with Lucas at Lernerville for the Firecracker and the World of Outlaws beginning a busy stretch with races at Thunder Hill, Ponderosa, and Brownstown. At Huset's on Sunday, Ryan Timms won his first 410 sprint car race in over a year. Early leader Kerry Madsen went for a tumble late, and Timms took advantage. He beat Tim Kading and Scott Boguski to the finish. Timms has won 3 times this season in 360 competition and has midget wins, but the 410 has been a problem. In 23 starts against the Outlaws and High Limit, just 4 top 10 finishes and a best result of 6. That was against the Outlaws at Kennedale. Timms had a breakout season in 2022, winning 8 410 races, but things fell off significantly last year. We've talked about him before, but you have to wonder if the sprint car tire change last season set him and his team back, and they just haven't been able to get things right since. We'll see if they can parlay last night's win into more sprint car success. And with the Short Track Super Series yesterday, Mark Johnson topped Matt Shepard and Matt Williamson at Devil's Bowl, the Devil's Bowl in Vermont, not the one in Texas. Williamson leads the North Region standings now by 6 points over Stuart Friesen. Williamson also leads the South Region, which is in action tomorrow at New Egypt. That's it for the daily today. There isn't much on the streaming schedule today, but it's not empty. So if you're looking for a fix today, head over to DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight to see your options. Hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.